to help you live a better life. This bonus episode features my sister, Meredith Comly, and her son, Flynn, as they sit down with Christina Mallon, a trailblazer in the world of inclusive design. Meredith reached out with the idea to talk to Christina, a former classmate, about her inspiring journey. Christina opens up about her diagnosis, the many obstacles she's overcome, and the powerful ways she's working to reshape the world of design to better serve people with disabilities. Here's some more of her background. Christina is a pioneering force in the world of inclusive design. Diagnosed with a rare form of ALS, which progressively paralyzed her arms and hands, Christina's personal experience with disability opened her eyes to how the design world largely ignores disabled consumers. Rather than be discouraged by her disability, she channeled her challenges into action, founding Wunderman Thompson's inclusive experience design practice. Through her leadership, she's been instrumental in projects like Tommy Hilfiger's disability-friendly clothing line, Tommy Adaptive. Christina also leads digital marketing for Open Style Lab, a nonprofit dedicated to creating accessible fashion and technology solutions for people with disabilities. Her work has earned worldwide recognition, with features in Fast Company, Vogue, and more, as well as accolades like LinkedIn's Top Voice in Design. Christina's efforts are reshaping how we think about design, proving that inclusivity not only serves a social good, but also creates vast business opportunities. When she's not advocating for accessible design, Christina's pushing boundaries at home, creating adaptive living solutions that ensure her independence. Her unique voice is an inspiration to all, especially those living with disabilities, showing that constraints often spark the most innovative solutions. So without further ado, here is Meredith, Flynn, and Christina.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to Mind Body Dad. My name is Flynn, and I'm really excited to be hosting this special episode. I have cerebral palsy, but I'm not in a wheelchair, and I also have cortical visual impairment. That means I move and see the world differently, and I learn to use some pretty cool tools and tech to help me along the way. Accessibility is super important to me because no matter how they move, see, or think. That's why I'm really excited to talk about someone for Microsoft Accessibility, a team that's working on making technology better for everyone. Let's get started. I'm really excited to introduce today's guest, Christina from Microsoft Accessibility. Christina works on making sure the technology you use every day is more accessible to everyone, including people with disabilities like me. Our team helps design tools and features that make it easier to see, hear, type, move, and learn, all in different ways to include everyone. Christina, thank you so much for being here. I can't wait to learn more about the amazing work you do at Microsoft in your disability. Is there anything else you want to say?
No, that was such a great intro. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. Can you tell me a little bit about yourself? My mom said you guys were friends in high school and you didn't get your disability until you were grown up.
Yeah, your mom's correct. Well, I have one disability that I was born with, and that's called ADHD. And then when I was 22 and I just graduated college, my arm started to become paralyzed due to motor neuron disease. So I've been disabled my whole life, but it was more in my brain. And then my arms became affected 22 years later.
Do you think that would be harder? And do you think that was that harder if you had your disability your whole life like me?
I think that's a really good question. I think that becoming disabled physically as an adult was much easier than my friends who became disabled from birth, physically disabled, because kids can be mean sometimes. And I think I'm a very sensitive person, so it would have been really hard for me to really shine when I was little if kids were bullying me, because I don't think that I had the right tools in my, toolbox to deal with the bullies.
What has been the biggest challenge? Challenge.
The biggest challenge is the preconceived notions of what other people think a disabled life is like. That is the hardest part about being disabled, is the challenges that people propose based off of what they think I can and cannot do.
That's kind of what I was going to say. The biggest challenge for me is people can't always tell right away that I have a disability. So it's really hard for me to keep up with everyone at school or do what they're doing. I get lots of help from OTPT, speech and feeding therapy. A teacher of a very visually impaired and mobility instructor. I even did his therapy.
Oh, wow.
And he helped to teach you how to do things with a disability.
I do. So I have an occupational therapist named Michael, and him and I at times will do virtual therapy because I spend much of my time in Miami because it is better for my movement with the heat. And I also co-run an incubator where we take engineers, fashion designers, and occupational therapists, and we make adaptive fashion. So most of my friends are occupational therapists, and they help me. So I really get lots of help, which is great.
I am worried about not being able to drive when I am a grown-up. How do you handle that?
I love Uber. It's really great to be disabled during this time in life because I get to take Ubers and I can watch a show on my phone instead of driving, or I can do some work. So I don't mind driving since we have Uber and Lyft and taxis.
Can you tell us what Microsoft Accessibility is and what your team does?
Yes. Okay. So my team is made up of 30 amazing individuals that work at and do kind of everything you can think about when we think of both software accessibility. And when you think about software, that's like Microsoft Word or PowerPoint to Azure Cloud, or hardware, things like Xbox to computers. So really, we ensure that all products made by Microsoft, including Xbox, is accessible no matter if you don't have use of your eyes or if you don't have use of your hands like me.
I know what the answer is, but why is accessibility and technology so important to the viewers?
Yeah, and I think even though you know the answer, a lot of your viewers might not know the answer. So it's a really good question to ask. It's important because every single person on this earth will experience disability at multiple points of their lives. So we need to think about, when we're creating experiences, how they will work for people's different abilities.
What are some cool tools or features that Microsoft has made for people with disabilities?
Really great question, Flynn. So one of my favorite products is Immersive Reader. An Immersive Reader is built within Word and Edge, which is our internet browser, and it allows for the words on the screen to be read out. Let's say if you are blind, or you have a visual impairment, or you're dyslexic and it's hard for you to read, because everybody's brains are different and we sit across a cognitive spectrum. And I have ADHD, so it's much easier for when I'm reading a website for it to also be read out loud. And that's what Immersive Reader does. So I'd say that's really my favorite. I also like the on-screen keyboard. So most computers, the keyboard is, attached to the screen, or you have a separate one. But what I do is I have a foot mouse that I control with my foot, and it an on-screen keyboard that hits it. And then I'm able to type out when I can't use voice dictation. So those two are my favorite Microsoft accessibility features.
How does your team come up with ideas for making things more accessible?
Yeah, I think there's a few people on my team that have disabilities, and we also work with, if let's say we have, an experience with disability that someone else doesn't have, we work together to think about the mismatches that might be between Microsoft's existing products and different disabilities. And we analyze those experiences and then we see the mismatches and say, okay, how can we fix this mismatch so that our products work with someone's disability?
Okay. Since I have cerebral palsy and cortical visual impairment, are there tools at Microsoft that could help people like me?
Yeah, totally. My friend Dave Dame, he has cerebral palsy, and he really likes a product called Voice Access. And what Voice Access does is you can control your entire computer with your voice. Well, he can type a little bit. Typing makes my friend Dave tired because of his cerebral palsy. So he really uses Voice Access a lot, as does a friend of your mom and I. Her name's Stefici. Her twin, Gabby, really likes Voice Access. She's a doctor, and she's always using Voice Access to write her papers for her patients. So I really highly recommend that. And from a visual impairment perspective, it sounds like Immersive Reader is going to be your new best friend.
What advice would you give to kids with disabilities who want to work in tech Microsoft some days?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is to really be curious and learn about other disabilities than your own so that you have a really good understanding of the needs of people with disabilities. And I think any company, not just Microsoft, would find that really valuable because, as I said in the beginning, every person experiences disability. So they need disabled teammates to ensure the products are really good to use.
How can people not work at Microsoft without disabilities help make the world more accessible for everyone?
Yeah. The best thing I think is to do is when you meet somebody new, ask if there's anything that you can do to make the experience better for hanging out with them or working with them. Because as you said, not all disabilities are visual and you don't know if someone has it. So when you're meeting somebody new or working with them, say, hey, is there anything that I should do to make your experience better?
Christina, thank you so much for joining me today. I learned a lot, and I know our listeners did too. It's really inspiring to hear how your team is helping make technology better and more fair for everyone, including people like me. Accessibility matters, and it's so cool to know that there are people like you working hard to make a difference. Thanks again for being here, and thanks for listening, everybody. I'm Flynn. Keep dreaming big, keep asking questions, and remember, everyone deserves to be included. See you next time on Mind About Your Dad. Bye for now.
Thanks for tuning into the Growth Kit podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe and leave a review. You can check out my website at mindbodydad.com and subscribe for more weekly insights sent to your inbox. You can also follow me on Instagram and Twitter at mindbodydad. Many of the links I share are affiliate links, which means I earn a small commission if you purchase through them. This doesn't affect the price you pay, but it helps support the podcast. In some cases, I may even be able to provide unique discounts for you. I only recommend products and resources that I genuinely believe in and use myself. My top priority is to provide practical ways to help you live better, and I wouldn't link to anything that doesn't align with that goal. Thanks for your support.